interpreted as statement of fact. Independent fact-checking and corrections are encouraged.
Can we get a cup of coffee in here, please?
Oh, yeah.
Damn good coffee and hot.
Well, let's see.
Wake up, America. You've got a dog that needs walking. That's right, sunshine. Just put on a big pot of strong coffee and get ready to type your little hate mail with your opinions about kumbaya and flat earth insanity. Stand-up comedy? You want stand-up comedy? Well, we've got sit-down comedy.
We got nothing.
It's time for Coffee with the Dog. You make me laugh.
I'm making myself laugh or cry. I don't cry. There's no crying in podcasting. Oh. Monday, the world's coming to an end. Why not? Good morning, or bad morning, but good Monday morning. People of America and Canada. I should say Canada first, because we love Canada. I should learn the anthem in honor of Vinnie Vanilli. Not Milli Vanilli. It's Monday, December 18th, 2023. Hope you're having a wonderful life, because it probably won't last much longer. Listen, Will's like, where you put that out there? Where you put that out there? I'm not, there's nothing I can say or do to save this world. This world is, it's headed down a really, really bad road, and there's nothing any of us can do to save this world, unfortunately. So let's have fun. Let's eat, drink, and merry. For tomorrow we may all be dead. And I am not saying tomorrow, really. I'm saying sometime after November of 2024, I think. Listen, elections, they always say, this is the most important election of your life. We are heading down just the scariest Christo-fascism road that ever existed. And I do believe that Donald Trump and everybody who is in that cult is going to take power in America, and then all of us who don't subscribe 100%, even if you have the slightest little difference with that cult, you'll be eliminated. You're obsolete. You are obsolete. How dare you not get on board with? All right, Charlie Kirk. You know who Charlie Kirk is. If you don't know who Charlie Kirk is, he's an evangelical Christian out of Arizona, podcaster, very influential with the Republican youth, the conservative youth. No, I take both of those back. The fascist youth, the people who, and the racist youth, and had his TPAC little conference there, and every single speaker this weekend said the same thing. We need to, you white people, you white Christian people, need to start having babies, and start having them quick, because you're going to get wiped out by the minorities who are having babies. The plan is to take over your whiteness, your top of the totem pole, Christian, fake Christian, by the way, not true Christian, the phony Christian platform. You need to step it up and start having 10 kids as soon as you can have children. This was the message, consistent message by everybody. Charlie got up there and said, don't wait. Have 10 kids. Have 10 kids right away as soon as you can start having children. Then Patrick Bet David, if you don't know him, he's a pyramid scheme guy who got rich during the pyramid scheme stuff, doing, shady business. He got up there and said exactly the same thing. And and Patrick's a brown person, by the way. He's part Iranian, and part Hispanic. Go figure that he is telling Christian white people. Well, he's definitely Christian, phony Christian. Have babies. Here's the thing. Woo. Charlie Kirk is up there. He starts it off with saying, you got to have as many babies as you can as soon as you can. Charlie's 30, or it might be 31 now. He's got one kid. Do as I say, not as I do. But you have to. Where have we heard this before? You got to start having babies, or we're gonna get wiped out by these people who are having babies. The plan is to wipe us out, meaning white Christian people. Sorry, I'm not falling in line with either of those at the moment. Not that I don't think Jesus was a friend of mine and died for me uh, in his quest to try to overthrow the Roman Empire at the time. That's a whole different ballgame. What passes for Christianity today doesn't even resemble in the least what Christ was all about. Anyway, so those people are bringing the tons of hate. Bobert is preaching to people about having babies young. She was a teenager having bowling alley babies from some pervert. Whatever. It's I feel like even the people who are not on board with the Christianity or the phony Christianity, the Christo-fascism that is coming out of Trump world, even though people who are atheists or non-religious Christians, whatever that means, they don't sense this coming, that they are on the hit list. Because if you listen to them, and you have to take them at their word, the plan is to annihilate anybody who's not. Trump said, if you don't accept our religion, we don't want you here. Our religion. What is our religion? His religion. And he doesn't really have a religion. He's talking about the people who promote him, the people whose shoulders he's standing on. And those people are the Charlie Kirks of the world. It's a dangerous place. So I'm thinking, all my life I've heard about end days and end times and all that stuff. Never a believer in biblical prophecy of end times and Antichrist and all that kind of stuff. But I have to believe that with 8 billion people on the planet and 3 major religions all gearing up for war, all hungry for war, thirsty for war, dying for a war to prove that we are the chosen people and God is on our side, we're doomed. Because the people who are speaking reasonably about how to coexist on this planet are being shouted down by the people who are saying have fucking as many babies. Who's going to pay for these fucking babies? You can't be 16 years old and have 5 kids. That's what they want. Matt Walsh's of the world, the Charlie Kirks of the world, all these people who are preaching to the Christo-fascist youth. I'm sorry to be on this rant on a Monday morning. It is a Monday morning. We have a show for you today. And this show is titled The Worst Idea I've Ever Heard. Our guest today has already been dissed by me, even in the title of the program. His, and I'll let him explain this to you. I have read his idea, his proposal, what he's going to be presenting to us today. It's a political idea. He wants to go back to states' rights. We're already seeing a little bit of the fallout from states' rights. If that baby doesn't die, you're all horrible people. Alex Jones said that last week about a woman who needed to get an abortion, supposedly to save her life, and the baby wasn't going to come to fruition anyway, wasn't going to make it to term anyway, according to the doctors. She had to leave Texas to get a legal abortion. And Alex, because Roe v. Wade got overturned, and we are having a little taste of what states' rights might be like, Texas said, no, she has to have this child. And Alex Jones, who is one of the proponents of the new Christo-fascist United States, says, if that baby doesn't die, you're all horrible people. That's a direct quote. If that baby doesn't die, you're all horrible people. Those are the people who are advocating for states' rights. Our guest today is going to be explaining his opinion on, and he actually has written up a Bill of Rights or an amendment for states' rights first. And so I'm not going to, don't listen to me. It's a little late for that. Don't let my negativity towards this idea influence your open-minded to this. Listen to him. Come to your own conclusions. If you think I'm fucking crazy that this is the worst idea, political idea that I've ever heard, tell me. Tell me why. Get on me. Straighten me out. Because the last time I remember states' rights being a real major issue in this country, it was over a thing called slavery, and it led to 600,000 Americans dead, killed by Americans. And that was before we had really good weapons. Now, if we have that kind of civil war, we'll just kill everybody. We'll just kill everybody. And listen, you know what? I've been saying I'm ready. I'm ready to be dead. I just don't want to die. I don't want to get shot. Anyway, on that happy note, I guess it's time to bring the guys in and say hello to them. Let me get the background ready for them. It's been a sloppy morning. By the way, if you don't know, we are streaming on Instagram for the first time. It's really sloppy, which is part of why I was having some technical difficulties when I first started here. We are on Instagram for the first time today. Say hello to Willie. Say hello to GD. Good morning, fellas.
Good morning.
Morning. Let's see here what today's is.
It's Monday. It's Monday.
Monday. Okay. Here we go. Mine dog coffee. Cause I got nowhere else to go.
That's
Mine
right.
dog
I got nowhere else to go.
Oh, this is it. This is a big one.
Wheezy, I'm coming, Wheezy. No, Elizabeth.
Wow.
I'm coming, Elizabeth.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. My wife's name is Elizabeth, by the way. It just works out
Oh,
that way.
great. I just want to say, I woke up this morning in a wonderful mood, and it only took you 12 minutes to make me want to kill myself today. Way to go. That's fucking.
My job is
a
done
record?
here. Well, you guys have a great day then.
Is that some kind of record, Willie? I'm just saying, how long does
bright,
it usually
cheery
take?
shit this morning?
Okay.
Our guest is actually due here within a minute, but he might not. I think he's going to show up. He was excited on telling people about his plan. Maybe he saw what I wrote in the title, "The worst idea I've ever heard."
Maybe
Listen,
he saw that I was going to be.
I have to be honest with them, don't I? Would it be if I thought it was the worst idea ever? Would it be a good thing for me to just like bullshit the guy and not tell him that I think it's the worst idea ever?
Well, okay, there's a difference between telling him while he's on the podcast and putting it as the title of the podcast. You see how there's a difference?
No,
between those?
I do say yes, there's a difference, but if I want to get people interested in it, hit the worst political idea.
I mean, it's compelling for sure.
And it helps him because he's going to get a bigger audience by me saying it's the worst fucking idea. I didn't say fucking idea. It's the worst idea I've ever heard.
Now, the only problem I had was because the way I read it, and of course my brain doesn't work like others, if it works at all. The way I read it, it was like Jack Decker was saying that this is the worst idea he's ever heard.
No.
And so I'm just saying this
podcast, probably.
No, it's his idea. He would not say it was the worst.
But I don't know that from the title. From the title, it's just I thought the title was Jack Decker. Yeah, I thought the title was Jack Decker, the worst idea I've ever heard. And so I was trying to read it, and I was very confused because if this is the worst idea he's ever had, why is he promoting it? So I was a little confused.
Jack,
by the title.
Evil read it the same way. So you and Evil should get a room together or a womb together, as because last week when you said you and your brother shared a womb, I thought you said room, and I thought, well, now I'm going to start telling people when you know how you say, hey, go get a room. Now I'm going to start saying, go get a womb.
People going to think you have a speech.
Look at this. Look. Hey,
just what's
two of
me. Why do we have a double angle now?
Hello. It's a little weird color, right? We have extra cameras here, so anyway. Trying a lot of different
preparation for me to be in studio. Is that what that is? I think that's what that is.
No, you can fit in the studio. I could not fit another human being in this studio, right? Ever. No.
What if you add more cameras? Because you just had two people in there just now.
A second angle, no one.
Two people. No, that's one person in two shots. Hello.
Yeah, can't you get that other shot to Willie?
No, he would have to be sitting here. There's no room to sit anywhere else, or even stand anywhere else in this room.
But there was room for the other guy. I just saw the other guy. There was room for him.
That's the other guy is me in this chair. And if Willie wants to sit on my lap, which I don't recommend at all, there's room for him here. But no,
I mean, I would sit on your lap, but I think it'd make you more uncomfortable than it would me.
Definitely would, and one of us would end up killing
when I start rolling it around, you know.
Yeah.
Come on. Stop.
Why I have two cameras is I was busy setting up a multi-camera studio for somebody else this weekend, and basically going through the technical issues of dealing with that. Now, her system is different than mine, but I just wanted to see the difficulty of making it work. Now, she uses StreamYard, but she's also using a tablet to control actually four other cameras she's got going on. So I was just seeing if I could get to work here, and I can, and now I'm probably never going to use it. I just wanted to see if I could do it. Hello. So anyway, but on my way to her studio,
I think you should switch to that whenever you read Twitter.
I used to.
What?
Okay, I think so much. I don't know if he's freezing or fucking with us.
Yeah, I think he's messing with us.
No, I know. No, that's too still. That is too still. I don't even think he's that good of an actor. He's good. I mean, I've seen the reviews on his Mr. No, he's moving. No, he's moving.
You think? But how is it that he's frozen and we're still going?
No, he's moving. I mean, he's not moving. He's frozen. I think he's frozen.
Yeah, because half of his thing. What is going on?
I don't know.
Instagram's fault. I'm blaming Instagram for sure.
Okay. Well, so how long?
Your weekend, GD?
Yeah. It went way fucking too fast. For myself and for my wife. I mean, we're both. It was Thursday, and then it was Saturday night. And actually, the weekend went so fast, I actually had to cancel my Saturday night plans at the last minute or the last 2 hours. Wow. And I called my buddy, a friend of mine, because he and I were going to go to a comedy show together to see somebody in Pennsylvania. And I sent him a text at 5:30 saying, I will be there at 7:45. Show starts at 8:30. But I like to get places early in case there's a thing. And also, we both knew the headliner.
Right.
The guy that was telling I don't want to call him a friend of mine because he stopped returning my calls a couple of years ago. So not just my calls, but my emails, my texts. It's not like he doesn't even want to hear my voice. He doesn't want to see my writing.
It's not very friendly.
Yeah, and the weirdest thing is we didn't have an argument or anything. The last conversation we had was we were talking about booking a show together. And he says, okay, send him the venue. I sent him the list of venues and the other comedians that I wanted to work with. And we had a slight, it wasn't a disagreement. I could hear in his voice that he was disappointed that one of the comedians that he wanted, I didn't like. And I'd said, my problem was his indiscriminate use of the word nigger. He was using it for shock value and not for any other reason. He was just trying to shock people.
Right.
You know, and I'm like, okay, I'm fine with the use of the word or any other word you want to use, but just to shock people, I'm here to have a good time, not to try to make people feel that uncomfortable.
Right.
And he's not of the level that he can lose an audience and get them back. You know, some people can lose an audience with a distasteful joke, but they know they have the command to get it back. He does not have that.
You talking about me? I have.
No.
I could do that.
I've done that.
Oh no,
I've
no,
lost
not
an audience on purpose to see if I can get them back for sure. I've definitely done that.
Well, I've done it, but not as on a test or anything. It's just part of the routine.
Right. I've never had to get an audience back. They've always been against me right from the start.
But I know that when I do the Catholic bells bit, I know that I can definitely lose audience members. I mean, it happened to me at the last Comic Standing competition. I definitely lost most of the audience during that, but I did get them back. You know, most of them I got back during
the rest
of the set.
Yeah, see, and I'm not talking about losing them and getting most of them back. I mean, to me, it's it's part of the script. It's I write it out. Right. I know I'm gonna lose these people, but I know once I say this, they're gonna be back on my side.
Right, right.
So, but he doesn't have that kind of command of an audience, and I didn't want him on the show. And that was the last conversation I had with this guy.
Maybe he really liked that dude. Maybe.
Well, he wound up booking him. But the thing is, I've never been wrong before. But I told him other people that he wanted to book, and I said, well, I don't say to him, book this person or don't book this person. I say, if you book this person, this is what you're going to get. And if this is what you want, then fine. And then he'd wind up saying to me, you were right. This is what I got, and I didn't want it. I said, okay, well, you know. And that was the last conversations I had with him, and that was it.
Carl is wishing me dead. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. Even though I have said I'm ready to be dead, in order to get dead, I have to die, and I don't want that.
I would cry. I would cry if you died, but not on the podcast.
No, I wouldn't cry until I found out if I was in a will.
What the fuck? There is no will. There's no room for a will in this studio. We went over that.
And I'm not saying I want to be in that will.
There's a will, there's a way. Okay. I'm not saying in a way. Is our guest here yet, or do I have time to say something?
He's not here. Okay, I don't know what's going on.
So, man, I had some crazy. Do you guys know what claim I made last week? I made a bananas claim last week.
What was that?
On Facebook and stuff.
This is going to be like a great year. You're seizing the year by the testicles and fuck everybody else. Nothing's going to stop you. You're going straight to the top. That claim?
Yeah. Well, I don't know if straight to the top was part of it, because that's not necessarily where I'm headed. That's not where I'm trying to go. But I did state that on December 31st, I would hold $10,000 cash in my hands. And to prove to people that I don't give a fuck about money, on January 1st, I was going to give it all away. Right? And now, at the time that I said that, I had about
wait a minute. Is this your $10,000 that you're holding and giving away, or someone else's?
Like $10,000 that I have either earned or people give me, yes. But mine to do with what I please. Right? Okay. Yes, I did, and I was careful to make that distinction. Thank you for asking.
It makes a difference.
At the time I made this claim, I had $5 in my pocket, or in my accounts, I guess you could say, like on my cards or whatever. And between the two cards, I had about $5. Okay, and no lined up reasonable way for me to believe that I had that money, but it was just on me to put this out there that I believe that this is going to happen. Well, guess what I found out over the weekend?
You got $10,000
over the weekend that I'm going to make $30,000 by the middle of January, through some stuff that I'm doing with Facebook and stuff like that, because I know that I can hit all of those markers, and like the fact that I'm going to have more than I need, to do what I do, because I'll have to get an advance on it, which is no big deal, but that'll enable me to do what I said I was going to do, and also still be okay, which was what my wife was super mad about. She was like, if you have $10,000 and you give it away, I'm gonna be so fucking mad at you. You know what I mean? Like, because she wanted to make sure that we were still gonna be in a good spot. So like the fact that opportunity has presented itself is absolutely amazing. But can I tell you, fellas, that was not even the best news of the weekend for me.
Your other testicle grew back.
Close. It does have to do with my testicles. It does have to do with my testicles. My son Gabriel, that I've never been able to have a relationship with, we got our numbers exchanged, and we started texting, and I'm gonna be able to meet my son for the first time on Wednesday. We're gonna have coffee together. We're gonna talk, and start to try and rebuild that relationship, which is or build it in the first place.
Yeah. Now is this going to be over Mind Dog Coffee? You got to do product placement.
I'm not going to do that to him. I'm definitely not going to throw him on a podcast right away. That'd be
no. I mean drinking
coffee.
it.
Yeah, drinking it. Said coffee.
Oh, are we going to have some Mind Dog Coffee? Probably not. I don't think I can get it by Wednesday.
Well, I'll let the chat room or followers comment on the rest of it. But I think you establishing the relationship with your son is a good thing.
It's awesome. It's so I'm so I'm beyond overjoyed. Like I don't even have words that describe how that feels.
Have you ever been a chicken farmer?
A chicken farmer? No, I've never been a chicken farmer.
I would have guessed that.
What the fuck? I don't get that.
Chicken farmers know not to count their chickens before they hatch.
Yeah.
Oh. You have little belief, I tell you.
No, it's not. It's not that. It's that you don't count it. Listen, I could believe you're gonna have chickens all fucking day long, but I won't count them. And no, I definitely won't give you an advance on them until I see them hatch.
Well, right. Well, the advance that I plan on getting, as long as I show that I'm gonna hit the markers that I need to hit for that, you know what I mean? I know that there's people in my life that will definitely give me an advance on that. Like, it's not like I don't know people with money. It's that they need to see something tangible, really, before they're going to do that. Yeah, and as long as I show them that I'm hitting the markers I need to hit to make that money, I'm sure I can get that. Because people love me. I don't know if you know that, Matt. People love me all the time.
That's not what you were saying last week. You were talking about the amount of people who hate you last week.
Listen,
just 3 days ago.
I don't mind that number of people is increasing because it means good things. And overall, and there's plenty of people. But like I said, Jerry and I had a talk, and he said, maybe you're taking some of this the wrong way. Maybe they don't hate you as much as you think. And that may be true.
I'm certain that's true.
I'm waiting. I'm going to wait to see how many of those chickens hatch.
No, I am too. I am definitely on that. I brought that up. Absolutely, would not count any of this. Listen, I've made that mistake enough times in my life to just tell you that is a mistake to count on that money.
Well, it's not like it's in the bank. It's not the only mode that I'm going for. That's for sure.
But you're counting it as it's in the bank.
As they say.
Money is never in the bank until it's in the bank.
That's true. But it's hard for me to know that because, and matter of fact, and even when I thought money was in the bank, it wasn't in the bank because my parents stole it from me.
That should be more reinforcement of what I'm saying. I've been there too. I've had money that looked like it was in the bank. It went through. And then all of a sudden, funny business happened, and it wasn't in the bank. So, I applaud your altruism and your willingness to give away money that you don't have yet.
Thank you.
Imaginary money at this point.
It's
but
not imaginary. It doesn't. I promise you it does.
At this point, can you show it to me?
Not yet, but that's why I said that I will show it to you.
At this point,
it is in my hands on a video.
That's
I'm very excited.
I'm glad you're excited, and I'm glad you're hopeful. I'm just saying, at this point, it absolutely is imaginary money. Show me your.
Sure.
And there is a huge difference. I guarantee you, if this all comes true, you will feel what I'm telling you. There is a huge difference between money you earned, hard and worked for, broke your fucking back for, use your brain to accumulate, than money given to you and your ability to give it away freely is affected by that difference. What is Kelly saying now?
I should be saying Willie power.
To me, it's about trust, though. You know what I mean? Like I trust that the universe is
right there. Just say Willie power.
I trust that if I step out in that belief and in that faith, that the universe is going to respond. You know what I mean? And that's more so what it is for me. And the whole reason that I'm doing it, it's not for me at all. I'm doing it to show other people. Like if you really trust and walk in that belief, which means that you do the things required. You know what I mean? Like it's not just fluffy duffy bullshit. Like if you walk in that belief that this is going to be what happens, then you take the steps it necessary for it to happen. But you have to constantly walk in that belief, and you can't be double-minded. You can't think that maybe you can't, when those bouts of nervousness and shit like that come up, you got to quell that shit immediately, because that will defeat you.
I disagree on a lot of that, but I do wish you the best. I think doubts are, every successful person I know deals with doubts, does not quell them, faces them head on. It finds
well, but that's facing, okay, like,
but not quelling them. No, not, and it's not the belief that propels them. It's an actual strategy and listening to people who are much wiser than them to deal with those actual situations. Right. The idea that you and I think we see a lot of this is that as a young man you can know is laughable to me, because I was a young man and I thought I knew, and then the universe laughed at me. So I'm putting that out there for you. You don't know. You don't know. At 42, you don't know anything. You don't know nothing. You don't know that. You don't even know that the world isn't flat.
Wow. I do emphatically know that the world isn't flat, because I've watched the shadows across the mountains. Okay.
So you get out and talk to the flat Earth people. They will tell you what their belief about the shadows are. You don't know until you've been to space.
Okay.
You don't know till you.
Part of what your belief is that you don't believe in gravity, which is a mathematical equation. Then like that's where flat earthers completely.
I see that again. I'm sorry to fucking burst your bubble, dude, but you haven't talked to any major physicist in your life. No physicist can explain gravity. No, they can't explain it. We don't have an explanation for it. Now, I hear what you say. I am totally of the belief that we do not live on a flat disc, but gravity is a theory, and it's not. That's all, and there's very different theories of gravity. There's Einsteinian gravity,
sorry,
Newtonian gravity.
It's the law of gravity. It moved past theory. It's the law of gravity, and it is a mathematical equation.
It is not.
Look it up.
You don't
man.
know what I've looked it up. Listen, I went to fucking university, studied physics. You
then
don't know what the fuck you're talking about. You went to YouTube University.
Please post it. Like it is the law of gravity.
Which law of gravity?
Einstein. It's a mathematical
Which
equation.
law of gravity are you talking about? Einsteinian gravity or Newtonian gravity? What's the difference? Oh shit. Oh shit. I'm reading it on your hat. Oh shit. You're talking shit.
Hey,
You have no
I put
education.
it right here. I put it right here for a reason, man.
You have no education in this, and you're talking as somebody who does. That's my point. At 42, you don't know anything. You think you know everything. Gravity's not a law. It's a theory. It's the best theory we have, and I agree with it. And I'm talking about Einsteinian gravity. But I'm not to say it's a law is ridiculous, and you don't know that.
And I subscribe to the porn version of gravity. So that's the one I believe in, because that's one that I can actually put my hands on and prove time and time again.
Well, anyway, I do wish you good luck with getting this $30,000 or whatever number you're shooting for.
Amen. Yeah.
People are gonna hate my, like, I'm gonna have so many Facebook posts. It's gonna be ridiculous, though.
About what?
About like everything. I have to post like 35 posts a day at least.
For what?
Least. To make my 30,000 for Facebook.
This is to make this money, you have to do Facebook posts.
Yeah.
What else is involved?
And qualifying Facebook posts. They got to be certain things that I post. So,
like, could you explain this thing in better depth to what exactly?
Yeah, sure. Okay, so I got this thing through Facebook and stuff where I have to produce at least a minimum of 1,000 posts in before January 15th, and they have to be qualifying posts. But so long as I do that, then I get $30,000 from Facebook.
From Facebook.
Yeah.
Facebook, okay. What is the qualifying post? What? How do you qualify?
Like they have to be like original, not shared posts. Reels don't count. Stories don't count. Like stuff like that. And so like there's a whole bunch of different parameters. I mean, not a whole bunch, but they pretty much have to be, like original posts, I guess.
And how'd you find out about this?
Facebook, because like I've been searching on my insights and trying to increase my footprint, I guess you call it, or whatever. And yeah, so.
What? But I mean, how'd you find out about it? They sent you a direct message?
Facebook sent me the thing. Yeah.
Did you verify where it came from?
Yeah, I had to. Well, and it tells you that you should too.
It does. Because I think I've gotten that same message and checked and followed the path and found out it was. First of all, there are probably. I'm just pulling a number out here, but I've known at least 30 or 40 emailers who use Facebook and Meta, really thoroughly looking real posts, emails, chains, and manufactured marketing pieces that say they're from Meta, they're from Facebook management, all that kind of stuff. It's not, and I believe I've gotten the one that you're talking about. Oh boy, I got a bad feeling about this. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Well, so you got to do 10. How many posts?
Can I tell you something? Hang on. Yeah. Have you ever thought that that like those bad things continue to happen because you feed into those?
What bad things continue to happen?
I mean, I'm just saying that. Like,
what bad things continue to happen?
This negative. Please, can I?
What? Well, you start out with those bad things continue to happen. What bad things?
But continue? I'm saying bad things in general, bro. Like
my life is pretty good, Will. I'm retired and I bought 3 houses in my life. I've established myself. This is what I do. And this is all I need to do. Tell me what terrible things are happening in my life.
That's not. Oh my gosh, bro.
That is exactly what you said. These bad things keep happening.
What I'm trying to tell you is perspective matters. What we tell ourselves within ourselves, it matters so much, dude. Way more than you think. Way more than you think.
That's the bottom line of this is perception matters, and That's where you're gonna go with this.
What we tell ourselves matters
This
so much
started
more
with
than
you saying,
think
"Did
about.
you ever stop to consider that all those bad things keep happening to you?" What bad things?
I'm not.
Well, you got me for a co-host.
Oh.
That is a terrible thing.
And Carl Mann won't come back on the show without a bodyguard.
Oh my gosh,
that's true.
That without
I'm waiting to hear what terrible things keep happening to me because of my attitude.
I'm not saying to you specifically, Matt.
You are, because I have the bad attitude.
Okay, all right. And you know, I apologize. I retract my statement. Beautiful, wonderful things happen to you all the time because you're negative.
Good things and bad things both happen in my life. Neither one of them are because of my attitude towards it. That's a Tom Segura. Oh, you're poor because of your attitude. He was.
No, I'm poor because I have no money.
I see, and I want to tell you something. I see people at those places all the time that are not poor. They may not have monetary money, but they're really not poor. When I watch somebody who has next to nothing be given a little bit of something, and then I watch that person share it with the people around them, that's some of the most beautiful shit I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And most people will never understand that.
I don't know. I don't know about most people. I don't really care about most people. But
that is another problem, by the way.
No,
the more we care about other people, the better this world.
I didn't say I don't care about other people. I said I don't care about most people. There are 8 billion people on the fucking planet. See, the problem is you, and this is very evident by your reaction to the death guy. You heard something that doesn't fit in your kumbaya, want to believe situation, and it makes you defensive and angry about it. And anytime anybody proposes anything that doesn't fit into the kumbaya self-help world, I gotta get fucking the hair up on my back, and I gotta act like I am Tony Robbins with nothing to back it up. Nothing to back it up. Tony Robbins has mansions and stuff to back up his scam that he pulled on people. You got nothing. You're out there saying, "Oh, you gotta do it."
Hey, I'm very proud of what I have right now, and you know what? I'm gonna be way, way, way fucking proud of what I have this time next year. And it's and nobody is gonna have shit to say anymore.
All right.
Can I still talk shit if I want to?
Sure.
You can talk shit anytime, GD. I love you.
Okay, all right.
And I love Matt. Just
good.
Because I like talking shit.
It hurt my heart sometimes if you just. Anyway, that was me trying to do Jordan. My bad.
You're not very good.
Was it okay? Was it all right? I don't know.
No, it wasn't very good. It wasn't very good. And you know what? You could have. I don't know.
Well, I know one thing. I better go make real money today.
You better get some money in your cash in your bank account to back this stuff up.
Yeah.
You definitely.
Otherwise, it's really going to go south.
Now it's on the line. You put yourself out there, and you got to come up with 10 grand, and 10. You want to take an advance on it. So, if you take the advance on it, you're putting yourself in a hole. You really better come up with the money to make good on.
Yeah.
It's
definitely not my only plan. That's for sure.
All right. On my way to the studio in Riverhead to set up the studio for the lady who's got the multi-camera shoot going on, I was passing the Calverton rifle range, and there's this big sign up there. I posted a picture the other day about the Trump stuff and Civil War and all this stuff, and you could hear them. I'm not making this shit up, man. In Calverton, Long Island, on Route 24, there's a rifle range, and they're having militia drills for the Civil War.
Wow.
And I heard them from the street. I took a picture of the sign, posted. This is why I started out with this this idea. Now, just because they're planning on mounting a civil war doesn't mean they're going to succeed at it or really be that powerful. Listen, you're going up against the United States government and the United States military and the National Guard and all these kinds of things. You better be a little more prepared than just going out and playing guns on at the rifle range all weekend. But they are prepared. They definitely are. And so people who poo-poo that idea that they're preparing for a civil war are not really paying attention. These people,
it's concerning for sure.
And the idea that Nick Fuentes put out there. Now, Nick Fuentes has had dinner with Donald Trump. He's not like an outsider. He's not like you or I, just talking. He's a guy who has sat at the table, and he basically came out and said, we have to annihilate them, starting with the Jews. And then the Muslims, of course, and then Buddhists and atheists and all those people. But from day one, we will need to kill them all. No trial, you believe in Christ, you believe in Christianity or not. Yes or no?
Where did the black people rank in this? Because I just want to see how serious a threat we are. How far down were the black people?
There's lots of different kind of. What religion are you?
Oh, so it's going by religion. I'm pretty much
right.
And agnostic.
My God,
well, no,
you're dead. You're dead.
Agnostic. I would be considered. I forgot what I called myself, but it was like a Gnostic.
You forgot what you call it.
Well, right, because it's not real. It's not real. It's just a label to help other people.
Let me clue you in. Anything that is not Christian and according to their belief of what Christianity is, you're dead.
Okay. See, because I'm more like a theosophist.
It doesn't matter what color your skin is. It matters that you're on board.
Okay, so it's a religious thing, not a color thing. Whew, thank God. Oh man, I can pick any religion.
It matters what reason you get annihilated for.
Yeah, I can pick any religion.
Dead either way.
Yeah, but I like to know what my last thought's going to be.
And what would the last thought be?
Yeah, well, if they're using a gun, it might be like, oh shit. If they're using a gun to kill me, I'm going to be like, oh shit, you cowards. But if they're choking me out, I'm going to be like, oh, at least I had a fighting chance. Now, if it's a
I agree with that. I agree with that a little bit. I know what you're saying.
Now, if it's going to be like when I was in the South jogging, and there's a car full of Confederate flag wielding people, and they chased me, and they were going to like jump me, I was like that was I didn't want to die that way, and obviously I didn't. So it makes a difference to me how I'm done away with.
Yeah, don't be a bitch and shoot me. Fucking
don't be a bitch and shoot me. Don't give me a fighting chance. Even if it's 4-on-1, I'll fight 4 men hand-to-hand combat easily. I don't care. Even at my age now.
I've always said fighting multiple people is easier than fighting one.
Yeah, because you take out the biggest one because he's the pussy. I mean, take out the biggest one and the pussies will run away.
Right.
You always said fighting multiple people is easier than fighting one.
I will say that
after age 4,
I think it's easier to fight 2 or 3 people than it is to fight one person. I do think that.
That's even more bizarre than
if we haven't proven anything else on this podcast already today. I got a lot of weird ideas.
Yeah. Well, it's just the worst idea I ever had show, but
yeah, I mean, hey, I'm just trying to follow suit here.
My God. That makes absolutely no sense. And believe me,
you're welcome. I love you.
I mean,
and also I don't want to die in a way that makes you look like a pussy in front of my wife. I have to protect my wife if necessary. Hopefully, hopefully we're not in that situation where I have to protect us both. Because then I would worry. If I only have to protect myself, I'm a little bit more ruthless.
Yeah. Wow. One of the posts I made over the weekend was pointing out that GD once said on the podcast, he asked me, have you ever had a good idea?
Yeah, but you left out the fact that I was smiling and I said it in a loving way. But,
right. Well, it was pretty funny though. I thought it was
funny. Yeah, it was fun. Yeah.
And what was the good idea?
I don't remember. I have no idea. It was from a while ago, but
and obviously I wasn't funny on purpose because I don't know anything about comedy. So it was just one of those. Yeah, you never
really
live it down.
That I'm still here. I'm surprised it's not been my last day
yet. Yeah. If you die before me, I'm going to show up at your funeral, and that's going to be part of your eulogy. They will say, "Excuse me, who are you? Why are you talking?" I'm going to say, "Excuse, I have just one thing to say." Dearly beloved.
So you don't remember what the idea was. You just remember that he asked if the result was him asking you
If I've ever had any good idea, yeah. Have you ever had a good idea? Something like that. It was funny though. It was perfectly placed. Really.
Do you remember the idea, TD? You got any idea what that was in reference to?
No.
Wow.
No, but actually, because he wasn't talking about having a good idea. He was just talking about it was like he was referring to things that bad ideas. He was referring to bad ideas, and I just said, "Have you ever had a good?" No, he was talking about. He was saying something like his life is full of bad decisions that he's made, or something along those lines. And I said, "Well, have you ever made a good decision?"
A good decision is different than a good idea.
Yeah, and it probably was a decision. I think decision is how it was stated.
All right.
And that's how I posted it too, I think.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah,
but and so
you're right. It was decision, not idea.
And so me, I'm just coming back to this last thing. Me saying be wary of Facebook scammers is, in your idea, negative thing to say.
Well, no, not necessarily, because I mean, it's not like you don't have to be wary, but it's, I mean, more so. What I notice is that your knee-jerk reaction to things is the bad side, and I don't get that. I don't understand that.
So my knee-jerk reaction is saying a Facebook thing that I have seen already, and they attempted to scam me until I checked it out. My knee-jerk reaction is to say, be careful of this because there are a lot of scammers out there. You say that means that.
Well, yeah, but it wasn't just that. Like it.
Give me another example.
Give me another
example. Give me another example.
What do you mean?
Give me another example of
why do you do that? That's
because you are building a house of cards and you got nothing to fucking build it on. You say all these bad things keep happening to you. No bad things are happening to me. Now you're saying my knee-jerk reaction is to go to the negative when there is no reason to go to the negative. I bring up the Facebook thing and you say, well, it's not just that. What is it?
I don't know what's happening this morning.
I'm asking you to make a case for what you are putting out there. You're saying my knee-jerk reaction is to go negative. Give me an example. I want to know. Help me learn.
Like, okay, that you're pessimistic? I mean, what examples do I need to give that you're a pessimistic person?
I admit to being a pessimistic person.
Okay, that doesn't mean. Why do I got to give like a detailed example? Well, you did
because that's not what you said. You said my knee-jerk reaction to anything that comes my way is negative.
I must not be communicating effectively this morning. Okay, I apologize.
I would say that is a very good assessment of where we are.
Right, because like I'm not. I'm definitely not coming across in the ways that I am trying to, or I apologize. I'm not trying to. I don't even get what's happening.
No, I just have a question real quick. What's your favorite Pez dispenser? Right now, mine is Dr. Strange.
I haven't had a Pez dispenser since I was like 11 years old. I would love to get one, but I don't think they even sell them in any place that I've visited.
Oh, that you visit.
There's
what
like
about the
Pez
weed place?
Stores.
Wait a second. What about the what?
The weed place. Doesn't the weed place sell candy stuff?
Replay? What's a replay?
Weed. W-E-E-D. Weed. Where you get your weed, pot, marijuana. Don't they sell stuff like this?
Of course not.
Oh, damn. This would be like a great impulse buy.
It probably would. If I saw one, I would buy one.
Like an edible Pez dispenser. That'd be fabulous.
There are no more candy stores around here. I mean, on Long Island, there aren't like candy stores or places.
What's a diabetic to do if you don't have a candy store? I mean, how are you going to lose a good foot? I mean, you got it. If your goal in life is to lose a foot in life, you got to have a Pez dispenser. Damn.
That's a weird goal to set, but no, I could see. I get your point. Well, you could just eat a bag of sugar, right?
Yeah, but then you can't do this. Hi there, My name is Dr. Strange. So you can't.
All right.
I think
it doesn't.
You're supposed to have an English accent.
You know, I was a comedian I know. I can't remember. Actually, I do remember his name now. He used to do a bit about Pez dispensers, and he used to have his idea was that there should be presidential.
Well, I just want to say Willie's right. I want to say Willie's right about something because I just got a message on Facebook. We would love to review your possible publication for your work for possible publication. Please let me know when you could submit your submission for editorial review. Yeah, my knee-jerk reaction to that is this is a scammer. I didn't apply for anything. Why are you bothering me? So yeah, so Willie's right. My knee-jerk reaction to that is it's a scammer. As somebody who should not be trusted, and
I'm not saying your knee-jerk reaction is always wrong either. By the way,
huh?
I said I'm not saying your knee-jerk reaction is always wrong either. By the way, it's just I don't know. It's depressing to me, really. I don't know, well, I can't. Yeah, for me, it would be very difficult for me to function that way because then I would just I would turn inward and it would be dark and it would not be good.
Well, the world is full of darkness. You can't ignore it.
Well, that's why it's important to be the light.
It's important to try to bring some light, but you can't be the light. You can't be the universal light. You can't. That's just there's a lot of things that are out of your control.
For sure.
Yeah, you can try to amplify as much light as you can possibly do as one human being.
Well, and that's really more so what I try and do more than anything is to reflect that light, shine that light, and so the other people see that they too have the same ability to do that. You know what I mean?
But what if you put a crystal on that light to magnify it and then turn it inward?
Then your body will probably heal and you'll probably what was that person that had that I was into? Remember?
I can't remember her name. Was it Darlene?
Person?
What? It was a disc that reflected the light to increase your stem cell production.
Yeah.
That would cure just about anything that ever was wrong with you and defy aging in some way because stem cells keep us. I don't know.
Well, I think it defies aging.
Stem cells means you never get old.
Yeah,
that's what they mean.
I'll say this one thing that always makes me feel better without fail: masturbating.
Pez dispensers. You cannot be sad with the Okay, I want to go. I just want. There's a comedian I know who had the idea of having presidential Pez dispensers, and the two punchlines was one was the Lincoln Pez dispenser, but then there was the Kennedy one that went back into the right, back
into the left, actually.
Back into the left.
Back into the left.
Yeah, that was the Kennedy Pez dispenser went back into the left. No, back into the left. So that was his punchline, but he hasn't used it in a while. At least as far as I know, he hasn't. If he has, I'm sorry if I ruined it for you.
Don't worry, nobody's listening anyway.
So, Mrs. Lincoln, other than that, how was the show?
I don't know if this guy is going to come on at 10:15. Maybe it's a time zone difference. He never really got back to me.
Maybe it's a states' rights thing. He's whatever state he's in, he decided he's going to claim a different time zone. It doesn't matter what the time zone for that state is. He's claiming a different one.
Yeah. Right. So I want to talk about something because you brought up Kennedy. It reminded me, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Yeah, I do that. All right, so CNN basically asked him if he ever said that there has never been a safe vaccine, and he denied it. I never said that. And then wait, let's go to the tape. And there it is, him saying it. Let me explain what I meant by that. I wish I never said that. You use my words against me, and that's not fair. So then they went on to ask him about his saying that Ashkenazi Jews didn't need the vaccine because they were immune to it. I said that, but I don't understand why people got upset about me saying that. Well, first of all, in 2023. If you don't know by even suggesting that Jews are different from other people, you're going to call, whether you say it with the best of intentions or whatever is in your mind, just saying that, you have to know you're going to get some backlash against that. You can't say that and think nobody's going to push back. So if you're acting like you're surprised by that, you're just not dealing with reality. You're just not. But so now the pushback on his Twitter campaign and from his followers and all this stuff has been that CNN is focusing on the vaccine stuff, and that's just stupid. Nobody cares about the vaccines. It's a non-issue now. The pandemic is over.
Is that what they said?
Yeah. What now? I just want to, GD. I know you're politically astute guy and put a lot of time and energy into understanding politics. First of all, your take on that.
About the pandemic being over?
And nobody cares about vaccines. It's not important.
No, that's not true that they don't care as far as here's the deal. The people that were your anti-vaxxers, they're not going to sing about it until they're told to sing about it. They're going to still feel it, but it's not going to be their issue unless they're whoever their mouthpiece is. Right now, it's Donald Trump. Now, if Donald Trump starts talking about the vaccines again, then they will talk about the vaccines again. They're just an echo chamber. Now, as far as their feelings about it go, their feelings haven't changed. It's just a matter of what they're going to echo. That has changed. So the feelings haven't changed. Whatever they felt before about vaccines, they still feel it.
Let's take the care part out of it. That it's not important. It's not a non-issue. It's not an issue. Vaccines or a president's view on whether vaccines or medicine can be trusted. Is that an issue?
That it is an issue, but it's not. It's an issue, but again, I don't. It's not out there. It's not when they're. It's not like a major thing. It's like I said. They're right now. They're going to be mad about whatever they're told to be mad about, even if it's not true.
Yeah. All right.
So I'm not sure
your take on this idea that if we can forget just about whether people give a shit enough about whether vaccines are an issue and whether a presidential candidate and a president who possibly doesn't care about medicine or doesn't trust medicine in any way, whether that's an issue.
Now, I do believe it's a real issue. I'm sorry, Willie.
We'll give his. Yeah.
Well, first of all, I just want to say that I state this as a man with a paper asshole, and I think we all know that. but yeah, I think it matters. It definitely matters. I think it's silly to say that it's not an issue. Like,
why?
And I would further say that if you say it's not an issue, it's probably definitely an issue. It's just an issue you would like to avoid.
All right, maybe I'm the only one on this level, and I could be way wrong about the way I interpret this. But I don't think COVID was the pandemic. I don't think the last pandemic was the last pandemic. I don't even think. I don't think. I don't even think it was a good dress rehearsal. I think it was just an opening table read for what a pandemic might be. Now, if you look at the history, go back to 1980, AIDS, Ebola, then you had bird flu, swine flu, all these new diseases that seemingly have the potential to wipe out humanity. Obama and his administration put together a pandemic preparedness documentation, which was very deep. Trump threw all that out.
Yeah,
I think the idea of having a president who doesn't believe in pandemic preparedness and doesn't believe in trusting the medical community, if it wasn't for, in my mind, if it weren't for the medical community right now, we would have probably been already wiped out 40, 50 years ago with all the new diseases that are coming down. Spending time in pathology and with an emphasis on doing research for virology and how viruses evolve and help the human race evolve.
Yeah, it's important work for sure.
It so is. And for a president to say, no, there has never been an effective vaccine. Let me tell you one. In the last 10 years, the last 6 years, I think, HPV virus.
Yeah.
Sure.
If it weren't for that, we'd all be getting cancer of the junk. We came out with a vaccine and a treatment for that. So to say there has never been an effective or safe vaccine, you want here, do me a favor. Next time you get really sick or you break a leg or an arm, don't go to your doctor. Go to Robert F. Kennedy Jr. and say, "Heal me."
No, go to the healing disc lady.
Yeah. So no matter what you take on COVID and the way it was handled and the vaccine and whether how safe or unsafe it is in your mind, to try to encourage people that medicine is not the number one thing that humanity really is held up by in this day and age. It's just crazy. It's crazy talk. And so he putting out an army of people of just saying, "Oh, you don't be deflected. Don't be interested in vaccines. That it doesn't matter what his opinion on that is. He's going to get rid of Reddit, or he's going to get rid of pesticides that cause cancer. Those are all good things. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
It's not like totally without a good idea.
Right.
But they're trying to sell
Like
this idea. Huh?
I'm not totally without good ideas. Just, you got to catch the good one out of every 20.
Yeah, and I would say, and no, I would agree with you. It's not like I'm saying you don't have good ideas. I'm saying you don't know everything at 42. Nobody does. Nobody does. Right. But you think you do.
I did.
I'll be 43 soon.
Well, I'll be 65 soon. I still don't know everything, but I definitely have.
Yeah, I wasn't saying that was going to be the time
I definitely have learned from the mistakes that I've made, which I hear coming out of your mouth, and then you're just like ignoring them when a senior person says, "Listen, I made that mistake. Be careful." I don't know why you're so negative, man. Did you ever stop to consider that the things that you say are the reason all these terrible things happen to you? That's
Matt. You just remind me.
My apologies for communicating in such a poor way this morning.
You reminded me, Matt. My mom, she knew she was dying, and she'd written a letter of a goodbye letter to all of us, to the kids, the grandkids, and everything. And she put like a little paragraph to each of her kids. Actually, she wrote it before my sister had passed. So my mother wrote it like maybe a couple years before she died.
Then she wrote it when she was 16, before she even had kids.
Right, but she knew what she was going to name them and how many she was going to have and which one she was going to want and which one she was going to want to keep. She knew back then.
I'm sorry to interrupt you like that.
No sweat. And so when she got to the paragraph about me, and I think it's like 2 sentences. One of them was that she says, "He doesn't know everything." Now, of all the other kids, like my sister, she's like, "No, Cookie, you were my firstborn. You will always be special. Da 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 da. Ralph, you're my firstborn son. You were so special to me because of that. Blah 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 blah." When she got to me, she was like, "He doesn't know everything." He doesn't.
What did you recently tell her to make her say that in that letter? That's what
I wanted to know. I really don't know the answer.
I know the answer to that, but I probably shouldn't say.
She told you?
No, she's not. It wasn't a specific thing. Well, it's an attitude of walking. Listen, at 21, every human being believes they know everything. At 21, you have the world completely figured out and everybody else is an idiot. And you wear that on your shoulder. And then at 30, you kind of start to temper that a little bit. At 40, you temper it a little more. But when you wear it completely like as your coat of armor, it definitely shows. And it's part of human frailty. It definitely is. We all fall into that. But some
I have
people,
a different
it
theory.
glows.
Now I have a different theory, but my theory is different only because I have inside information that you wouldn't have, not having been
I have
in my
all the
family.
inside information. Your mother wrote to me before.
Oh,
and she said,
okay.
Listen, try to keep your temper on the podcast is what she told me. And I was like, yeah, what do you know?
So,
I know
but
it.
my mother,
I know it all.
My mother had a special relationship with alcohol growing up. Okay, and so and she was not always the best mom. When she was sober, she was a great mom. When she wasn't sober, she was not the best mom, to say the least. And when my mother found Jesus, she said that, well, those things don't matter anymore because that was in my past. And my thing to my mother was, oh, Mom, they do matter because it happened to us. You know, you can say Jesus forgave you, but we still carry the scars. So Jesus forgiving you does not eliminate our scars as children. And so my mother's answer to that was, I never abused you children. Like, that was always her thing. So, and I was the only one that would confront my mother about that. The other kids would never confront my mother, especially if my mother was in the room. They would look at me and go like, I don't remember that. I don't know what you're talking about. And when my mother leaves the room, they'd go, as soon as my mother leaves the room, they'd be like, I remember. It's like, don't tell me, tell her.
Oh yeah, dude, yeah. That's so bogus, bro. I'm
sorry
you went through
that.
that.
So my mother, as we got older, just before a few years before she died, when my mother would introduce me to people who did not know us before, like when she says, and this is my son, she would say to people, this is my son, the little liar. Now I'm like 50. Yeah. I'm like 50 years old.
Yeah, I could see Big Liar is fine.
I would
yes.
I would
that's what
stop
I'm saying.
talking to my mother at that point.
Right. I'm 50 years old. Don't call me the little liar. I'm a grown man now. All right. I agree with you, Matt. Thank you. I wish she was here to say that. I wish she was here. She was here to hear that. But of course, she just put in the letter, I don't know everything. And because she's not here, she doesn't know. She should stop calling me a little liar.
Right. I'm sending a reminder to Jack. I know the hour is over. It's ready for the second hour. I don't know what happened, but maybe it's a time zone thing. I put Eastern. Anyway,
that is one thing that when I reach out to people to be on the show, I always make sure to mention the time.
I have made a habit of it for the last year or so to make sure Eastern time zone is in the reminders.
And it's even on
and they still come back with
it's in big red fucking letters on the booking calendar, for fuck's sake.
Right. I'm glad you said that because I've changed that enough and just keep making it bigger and bigger. And now I tell them, make sure you pay attention to the instructions at the top of the page in big red letters. And I still get, I didn't realize it was Eastern time.
And I'll get you a bio and a pic for Megan today. I'm sorry. I should have done it yesterday.
What did Michael Zinn say to get banned?
I mean,
it says Michael Zinn was banned and their comments removed.
I banned Zinn. I am he's not allowed on this program. He's not allowed to have any contact with me in any way. I don't like the man.
Maybe. Oh, okay. Oh, if that's all it is, that's fine.
He said something about, I don't see anybody losing their temper except you, or something like that, basically.
Right,
okay.
But no, he is, in my view, a very, I don't know what to say this. He wants to cash in on other people's work. Doesn't want to do any of the work on his own. And what he's doing here is fishing for friends, because he has no friends, or has very small circle of cult friends that he's been friends with for 40 years or so. But he's looking for friends, guests, and opportunities.
Oh, okay.
So he's
same
not
as me.
Here. Yeah, no, absolutely, you do it. I know, I noticed you do it, but I'm happy to help you do it because you're not phony about it and not trying to act like I'm just here to be your friend, man. I just want to be your friend. Then everybody who ends up on the program ends up being a guest on your program.
Well, not everybody. 3.
No, because you haven't had time yet.
Oh no, I've had time. I've had time.
You don't do a show every day. That's what you would have to do to keep up. You'd have to do a show every day.
No, but to do the ones that I want to do, I'd have enough time.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, because it's not everybody that has.
Yeah, you don't like everybody. But did you have the border crossing guy on, the border patrol guy on?
No, because he's not a comedian. But I did recommend him to another show.
Oh, I thought you wanted to have him on, because that would have been an interesting one. I didn't see that one. I was looking for it, hoping to see that one, because that would have been interesting to leave you alone with him for.
No, but he did. But he did go on another show that, like within a week that he was on here.
Yeah.
I sent his information, and I got him in contact with the radio station that I used to be affiliated with out in Nevada, Reno.
Carl wants to know if it was the title that kept Jack. It could have been. I don't think so. He's Jack the Raging Viking is his fucking email handle. I don't think he would back down from an argument. He's not the kind. If you see his picture, he looks like Oliver, Richmond, north of Richmond. He looks like that guy.
Yeah, that guy.
But he's an Army vet or Air Force vet, and his title is The Raging Viking. I doubt me just saying worst idea I ever heard. I think that would make him want to come on and get
right. Yeah.
Shove it up my ass, and if he could,
or unless he's never had to defend it. Like if he's only presented his idea to a like-minded audience, and so he's never had to defend it. And now just like, whoa, I have to defend it. I don't know if I can.
Well, he's not here, but you wanna talk about what the issues might be? Oh, I just killed Instagram, didn't I? I don't know if we're really still on Instagram. I think we might have got killed when the power went down. I could show you this. You probably can't read it if I post it on. I can read you out loud what the state's First Amendment. Oh, you printed it out? So for the audience,
what?
You want to read? Okay. You want to read it out?
No, I'm looking at Will's face. He's like,
it reminded me of when so I had a friend this weekend that actually sent me in the dialogue to Who's On First from Abbott and Costello when I was in prison, because we were going to do it for like a prison function. And it just, when you showed that, it just reminded me of like when people would send me in stuff that I asked for. Like that's how I learned the Jack Nicholson monologue for A Few Good Men, was somebody sending it to me.
All right. So this guy's platform, first of all, he described himself as a libertarian. And libertarian is used in a lot of different ways. A lot of people say it who don't really understand the libertarian platform. Libertarians are close to anarchists in the idea that they want as little government as absolutely possible. And understanding that almost always the reality of how to solve problems within the public domain ends up in this one recourse, and that's the survival of the fittest. So whoever can murder the other person is the winner in the libertarian model. That's my
to the victor go the spoils.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. So basically, here's his state's First Amendment. Each state gets one vote in the United States Senate. That vote goes to the state's current governor. Okay, the governor, the current state governor can also serve at the same time as U.S. vice president, and governors cannot be compensated in any way, form for their service to the U.S. Senate or the office of the vice president. So they don't get paid for either of those jobs that they're doing. I don't think anybody would have a problem with that. What's your on that? That's just the first article of his state's First Amendment. What's your take on that?
First of all, the number of conflicts of interest issues. It's saying here that, he's saying basically each state gets one U.S. senator. So we go from having 100 senators to 50.
Right.
Okay.
Two per state to one per state.
Right. Which doesn't address the real issue, which is some states shouldn't fucking exist and have senators. But that's beside the point. There's not equal representation by population. That doesn't address that issue at all. The other issue is that if you have a state who is has a vice president and a governor, you have a conflict of interest as to what policies you're going to, want to push forward. So if you have like let's say your vice president is from Montana, their interest is not going to be the same as, let's say, a coastal or a border state. So total conflicts of interest.
Okay.
So no, and what's the other thing in that? Just in the U.S. Senate or office of the U.S. Vice President. Okay, I don't have a problem with the no compensation, but that's mainly because I don't think that other shit should exist anyway.
Right, but you don't have a problem with no compensation, because to me that opens the door for them to be bribed.
Well, they're already being paid as a governor. So, but I didn't say I don't have a problem with that. I said most people feel like our government representatives are overpaid anyway, and most people would not object to asking them to do that without pay.
Right. But I'm just saying they shouldn't even be doing that. So the pay part doesn't matter. That's a stupid idea.
I don't see how that solves anything, going from 2 representatives to 1. I think what that does is it lessens the chance for diversity or different diversity of ideas, because some states actually can have senators from different parties, different majority parties. It's not generally, if it's a red state, they're going to have Republican senators. If it's a blue state, they're going to have Democrat senators. But there are times where it gets split. Carl's here, but he didn't bring his bodyguard. I don't know if we should let him in until
he's not on camera. His bodyguard is not a SAG member. He can't be seen on screen.
Who is selling wine? I don't know if they're on Twitch or what. Somebody's leaving comments.
Yeah, that looks like some spam, or it's a retarded person.
Yeah, or it's a retarded person. Thank you for saying that. So I don't see what problem that solves in just reducing from 2 to 1.
It doesn't fix anything.
Right. And the governor basically, I don't know. Governors are going to toe the line for whatever color their state is, right?
They should, or at least they should at least represent their constituents.
All right. So I don't know what problem it solves other than it reduces a lot of money that we're spending. And how much money, though? If you talk about the budget, how much a senator's salary and a vice president's salary? And now the vice president gets paid if he's not a senator, but he doesn't get paid if he's a senator. So he gets a vice president. But even that, so you're saving 50 of those salaries, let's say. That doesn't put a dent in the deficit or any of that kind of stuff. I don't get what that is supposed to
do. It doesn't fix anything. It's just stupid.
All right, next article. Ooh, you said stupid. I didn't see. I said the worst idea I ever heard. I didn't say it was stupid.
Well, it's not the worst, but it's not. Yeah, but it's not the worst idea I've heard. It's just stupid.
You said worst fucking idea earlier today. You said that.
I did. I said it, but in the title, it just says the worst idea I've ever heard.
Yeah, I've heard worse. But that's just stupid.
Article 2 says each state's votes in the U.S. House of Representatives are equally divided among all the state's current state assembly members. Each current state assembly member is also a full member of the U.S. House of Representatives, and none of them can be compensated in any way from their service to the U.S. House of Representatives. So basically, cutting the Senate in half, but increasing the House of Representatives exponentially, because I think in New York, there are 450 some odd representatives in our state assembly, which would, if you did that by 50, now not every state is as populous as New York, but you get where I'm saying. There's going to be a lot of representatives, and how does that fix any problems?
Again, it doesn't. Unless that's he wanted to come on the air to let us know how he's going to fix it.
And nobody's going to get paid, so they're going to get paid assembly money for New York State, which is basically less than Will's going to make in the next month off of this Facebook thing. They get paid less than $30,000 to be an assembly.
And the first thing they're going to do is try to find some ways to get some grift.
And they have to go to Washington and find a residence in Washington on making $30,000 a year. You're asking basically to people to commit to poverty to serve the United States or serve their district, which again I can't figure out. See, so I think I'm justifying why my title at least, but and now there are 4 more articles I want to read. Now, the U.S. senators can propose and vote on legislative bills from their states. All U.S. House of Representatives can propose a vote on legislative bills from their districts and their state's capital. And all congressional committee and subcommittee meetings must be conducted by way of video conferencing. Does that solve a problem that we're currently facing? And what is the point of that?
The only thing I can see is they're trying to get rid of the physical buildings and centralized power in Washington. So like Washington would not be the seat of power anymore. And okay. so that the seat of power will be distributed throughout the countries, throughout the states. That's the only thing I can figure. It's like dismantling it. So I think he wants to dismantle DC and the White House and the State House and stuff like that, but he has to replace it with something, and this is what he wants to replace it with.
Yeah, that's the libertarian model. Is basically a federal government. We got to get rid of them, but he's not getting rid of them. They're still there. I'm just wondering, and I'll get to my big takeaway from this when I'm done. We got 3 more articles. The next article is very simple. U.S. president must physically visit every state in the union and U.S. territory at least once every year. So for 4 years, he's going to be traveling an awful lot.
Fucking why?
Well,
he's not here for us to ask him why.
Yeah,
it would be good if he were here.
It's but it does. You know what I'm saying, bro?
Yeah.
It's like,
what does it accomplish? How does it?
Right.
So going to Rhode Island. Connecticut isn't enough, by the way. Connecticut, really, Rhode Island is just like the sock hanging off a Connecticut foot. Going to Connecticut isn't enough. You have to also go to Rhode Island. You have to go to Massachusetts. You have to go to New Hampshire.
Believe me, there's not a reason in the world that a president needs to go to Nebraska. I'm just telling you.
Also, keep in mind that they've been there during the campaign. They make a stop in every single state during the campaign.
Unless you're Hillary and you're Wisconsin.
All right, we're getting down
for the cheese and no other reason. We all know this.
We're getting down to nitty gritty here. Now, the next 2 are a lot of words to probably say nothing. The Capitol Hill building is no longer a functional building of the U.S. Congress. The White House is no longer a residence of the office of the president. Both are made national monuments and turned over to the Smithsonian Institution for Preservation, Historical Research, and public tours. I can't see that. Ooh. The District of Columbia is stripped of its federal, state, and status and returned to the state of Maryland. As a member of the state of Maryland, how do you feel about taking DC back?
I don't want DC back. I want DC to be made into a 51st state.
I think Virginia would have something to say about.
Why would you make a whole state out of the District of Columbia?
Because they don't have they have taxation without representation. They don't have voting members of Congress or the Senate. So there are bills so they're paying taxes. They're paying federal taxes.
Listen,
but they don't have representation
in
the federal government.
Taxation without representation because our representation doesn't do what the people want. They do what they want to get elected.
But that's not the point. The point is they're paying taxes and they don't have representation.
Taxation without representation right now. I just want to be clear.
Well. Right. Let's just say they're not. That doesn't mean they're not getting any representation. They're getting very little or poor representation. But
they don't have a voting member. They don't have a voting member in Congress.
Right.
So that's what I mean by taxation.
They don't get to send their corrupt people.
Right.
We want to have our own.
Yeah. Everybody deserves their own corrupt politician. Now, the last one, and this is probably going to make your head spin a little bit. GD already read it, so he knows. But any country can become a U.S. territory. If 2/3 in an open and free nationwide referendum vote to do so, after at least 5 years as a U.S. territory, a U.S. territory can become a U.S. state if at least 2/3 of its population can read, write, converse in American English to an 8th grade level, and let me, because it's getting a little small here and bright, and level, and then at least 2/3 vote in favor of an open and free territory-wide referendum. Any U.S. state or territory can secede from the USA by a simple majority vote, an open, free state or territory-wide referendum.
Well, dude,
Thoughts?
it sounds like he wants to make America as fluid as gender.
Well, just so you
Statehood
know,
in America is now just like gender. Whatever you decide. Whatever you decide is what you are.
4.5 months from now, Texas is going to vote on a referendum to secede from the Union. Now, there is some interest in that kind of stuff, so I didn't say Siri. Did I say Siri? Did anybody hear me say Siri? Hang up on yourself.
You said serious, which
serious,
Siri is a kind of a root word of that.
Yeah, maybe.
Hey Siri,
so why didn't your radio answer you once you said serious?
Oh my god.
Huh.
Hey Siri, did the Jews do 9/11?
So Carl, those are your first words, Carl. I was going to ask you to say something else.
We'd like to thank Carl for stopping by.
That was the second one. I had a cell filtering. I didn't do the first one.
Right. So, would England like to be a United States state or territory? We have to start out as territory. What do you think?
Bananas would that be?
No, not for me. You should get China to be a state.
China can become a U.S. territory and then a U.S. state if they 2/3.
China's just going to become the U.S. when they say, "Hey, we want our money."
Right. Exactly. So, but the other part of that is 2/3 of a free and fair election. We can't even decide on whether the elections in this country are free and fair. How are we going to?
It's just like fluid states as well. So you can remove a state like Texas or add a state like, I don't know,
DC,
Venezuela.
Right.
You can just you can just move it around and add and take away. I
think that guy in Venezuela would probably say, "Fuck you, America! You become one of our states, our territory."
Yeah, you toppled the government and destroyed their economy over oil.
Right. That's my. I know my impressions are getting worse and worse, but that's my impression of the dude. I don't even know his name.
Your Jordan Peterson is wonderful.
I can't remember his name.
But here's a thing, and GD alluded to the representation stuff. Responsibility. Rights are always tied to responsibilities, right? So if every state has all these rights, where are their new responsibilities coming from? You know what I mean by that? Like national disasters. When a hurricane strikes or an earthquake strikes, the first thing these states do is turn to the feds and say, "Help us." Federal government say, "Help us." You're saying
what about defense as well? What do you do in defense? You've got to consult 50 people. Right. 50 offices around the country to get them all to agree whether or not you do something.
Yeah, like in 1942, submarines went up to New York. Nazi subs were up in New York.
And California. California had the Japanese subs, but you're right.
Yeah. Right, and I think there was also Florida also, but
South Carolina, yeah.
Yes, it's South Carolina, not Florida. I apologize to you people in Florida.
You better, boy.
There we go.
Yeah, you get the hood. You get the hood. No.
I'd like to thank me for being on the program. This is my last day. But responsibility across the board. You can't just throw out there, we need states' rights and not come up with a list of states' responsibility. Who's going to take care of your interstate highways and all that kind of stuff? Is West Virginia going to pay for their own interstates? All these things need to be taken. So again, this is the dumbest idea, worst idea. I'm sorry. I don't mean to call it dumb. There's no such thing as a dumb idea, but it's the worst idea in my opinion. Now, people can argue with me and tell me where I'm wrong. Again, it would have been better if he would have showed up to present this to the people so they could say, Matt, you're wrong. This is a very good idea.
Having heard just tidbits of it, I gotta say, I'm not surprised that dude didn't show up to defend this fucking piece of shit.
Well, I am, because he's adamant about it again. He's raging Viking. Raging Viking.
Carl, you're our resident expert on Raging Vikings, being the closest one to that neighborhood.
Absolutely, yeah. And I've visited the Viking countries as well, some of them. So
yeah. So, do Raging Vikings have an issue with having? Do they have to have all their confrontations physical, or can they have a word battle?
No, it's pretty physical. I mean, all Vikings were pretty much rapists as well, so it's surprising they'd have it in his email address. The guys that pretend they're Vikings now and jump off of ice cliff with axes and stuff. Well, Vikings just went around raping and stealing.
Well, maybe it wasn't Raging Viking.Maybe it's a mistype. Maybe it's Raping Viking. Did you type it right?
Yes, I typed
it. Be. Try sending the email to rapingviking@gmail.com.
I don't think I want to do that, because it might come back with you are now. Well, I'm probably already on every fucking list anyway. But I don't want to get on more lists if I'm not.
When's the last time you tried to get on a plane, Matt?
That's a good question. I'm actually trying to think about this. Last time I was on a plane was 2014.
I was on a no-fly list. They're no fun.
Oh, well, I could see why you would be on a no-fly list. It's the hair, right? It's the hair.
I got kicked off a Greyhound once.
Well, see, we went over this. Now, because you watch porn, you think women enjoy getting cum on their face. The one woman, when you were on the Greyhound thing, she actually might have enjoyed it if she was awake at the time, but waking up to getting cum on your face.
She had fallen asleep. Feeding her baby, so her tits were already out. I figured, it just
but
seemed
that
like
will get you thrown off the Greyhound.
And to be fair, I don't think they would have kicked me off the bus had I not gotten semen on the baby as well. So I mean, like that.
Carl,
I think that was the problem.
I'd like to thank Will for his participation in this program.
So, Carl, where have you been kicked out of?
Bars, plenty of bars over the years. Not these days, but in the past, yeah.
These days, you're sleeping in them.
Yeah, now they let you sleep there. That's so nice. Yeah. What a change.
What a treat it was to sleep in -4 in a non-heated venue.
I'm really curious what that's really all about. Why the fetish for sleeping in bars when it's going to be cold in there? They turn off the heat when they leave, right?
This place doesn't even have any heat.
Wow.
Are they the only bar in England with cold beer?
Probably.
Why not just go home though? That's the question.
Because it's in a really awkward place to be. It's several hours of. It's just really awkward. So he said, "Why don't you just stay?" I've slept there. 3 times.
Yeah, I would say, is there a motel nearby?
Does this guy not like you? Does he not have a home with a couch?
Yes, that's a good point too.
He lives in the bar too, and he also sleeps in the other bar instead of going upstairs to his room.
Oh, so you slept on your back, I'm assuming, because I would be a little.
No, I sleep humped up is what I do when I'm.
Yeah, it's like a very strange place, but I'm glad it exists.
Yeah.
So well, this is like Brokeback Pub. No, just
pretty much.
I'm wondering. I'm seriously.
Pub, is that what you said? That's great.
I'm really curious about this guest though, because I don't think he chickened out, and I don't think he did it because he saw the title and was pissed at me. I really don't. I think if I pissed this guy off, I think he would want to defend it.
He probably would.
Well, none of us have actually met him, but I've had enough interaction with him that he looks like a fierce dude, and obviously cares.
Looks like a raping Viking.
Carl is basically a homeless cat. Well,
what are you going to do, Jack? Get a boat over here? No, that's
he's feral. He's feral.
I know what you mean. Ian.
He's called Feral, Will Ferrell's brother.
I could be feral in another world. I could have been feral. I've only just about made it into having a nice place to live, but it's been a long struggle.
I got both of my cats started out as feral cats. Their mother was in the yard, and she died, and we took them in. But they are totally, completely domesticated now. But I have been having weird dreams about big cats.
I like big cats, and I cannot lie.
Big cats, because cats and big cats there's really no difference except the size, right? I mean, like a lion and your house cat are basically the same thing, except the house cat knows that you can kick his ass, and the lion knows that he could kick your ass and eat you. Am I wrong in that?
I think I think that's right. Yeah.
Broadly, broadly.
So big cats can probably go from being feral, from domesticated to feral and all that kind of stuff. Because there are more and more people I'm seeing on social media have fucking big cats as pets.
But they're idiots. They're people who think they think everything's going to be fine until it's not.
Yeah,
it's like having a pet chimp, right? Sometime it's going to eat your face off, or your neighbor's face.
Those
when you have
people in San Francisco found out about the chimps. I always say
there's been a few. There's one where they get jealous, right? So there's one where someone brought a birthday cake round for a friend, so it bit the face of the friend off and tore it off because it was jealous that it didn't get any cake.
Yeah, I'd rather have a gorilla.
Didn't it like find the house or something? It like tracked them down and killed them.
Right. Chimpanzees are fucking evil. They're this close to people, which means they're fucking evil.
And they murder as well. It's the only other kind of animal that murders, like willful, hateful murder. Beat other ones to death. Other animals kill out of survival.
Right.
But these will kill socially.
I think gorillas. No, I could be one of these people that just labeled as dumb.
Gorillas aren't that violent. They're very big and very strong, and they're alpha within each other. But they're not generally murderous or violent.
Right. So I'd rather have a pet gorilla than a pet chimp any day. Now, because we think of chimps as these little things, because when they're little, they're cute and they're smart and all that stuff. But when they grow up, they're stronger than a gorilla. They're fucking badass. And
I think the problem is a lot of them have been shown. Obviously, I think a lot of them the problem is a lot of them have been shown the movies Planet of the Apes, and they just know better now. You can't. That's like you can't show them those movies. It's like giving a lion meat for the first time. You can't do it and expect them to not want more meat.
You see all those videos on social media where the orangutans, I always say tang, orangutans are feeling up women and like grabbing their tits and all that kind of stuff and like and laughing it up, like raping women, and the women are going along with it like, it's so cute.
That's why I wear my that's why I still wear my ape mask when I go into subways.
I was gonna say, if you're a lonely dude and can't figure out that getting an orangutan costume is the way to get some.
Yeah, I'm gonna go buy one today.
Just feel up women. Well,
but hey, I'm gonna hop off here because my teeth are about to float away from me.
All right.
And then I'm probably gonna go and do some deep searching to make sure I'm not.
You have a lot of Facebook posting to do. You want to be doing that the rest of the day, and you ought to get enough done today that you could take off the rest of the week. Just schedule.
Well, I wish you the best with it. But please don't spend any money before it's in your bank. I'm speaking as someone who's been supremely financially irresponsible for much of my life. I'm only just learning now. Right. Don't throw it out there before it comes in here, even if someone's promised it to you. That's what I would say. Give it away when it comes in, spread it around.
Right.
Exactly.
Well, like I said, I have some other avenues that I'm working on as well. Because the fact that I am giving the money away helps. It does help, actually. So
I'm concerned that you are not only just working avenues, but you should be working the streets as well. Okay, don't be cutting off your options. Don't just work the avenues.
OnlyFans is an option. That is true.
Okay, yes. So don't just work the avenues. Work the roads.
That's probably going to happen.
Yes. Work the cul-de-sacs. Work the cul-de-sacs. Work them. Don't just stop with the avenues. What I'm saying.
Right. Right. And hey, Matt. Yeah. As always, I really appreciate your input because I know that you never want to steer me wrong, and I do know.
Right. Nothing I'm saying is wishing that all your dreams for success don't come true. I hope you get $30,000 in the next month. I would just be really careful. about scammers that send you emails on Facebook. I wouldn't trust any. My mother has written me on Facebook. My mother has never had a Facebook account. She's been dead for 7 years, but she still writes to me from time to time.
She loves
you. Do you have conversations with her? I gotta go. That's great though. I put a pin in that. I want to talk about that maybe tomorrow or something. These conversations.
No, it's true. It's true. I have gotten DMs from my mother, but okay, I'll see you later. Bye.
Take it easy, mate.
Yeah. So all that being said, the guy didn't show up for his First Amendment thing, and honestly, I don't think there's anybody who's going to be down with all of this stuff. I don't think he's going to be able to convince a single person who can get things done. Not, I mean, he can
stupid people there are.
No, I know he can get through to Joe Redneck, who's out in Calverton practicing with the militia on Saturday for the Civil War. He can get through to that guy. But I'm a person who can actually do something in Congress. I don't think he's gonna. Even like the MAGA people who are in Congress right now, I don't think he would sell this idea to Marjorie Taylor Greene or Lauren Boebert or any of those.
Well, they definitely don't want decentralized power, right?
They say they do.
Yeah, but they want the power though.
Right. But they say they don't. But yeah, so that's part of the whole libertarian thing, and this idea that if there's no police force, and I know Carl hates firemen. I don't know how he feels about policemen, but if there's no police, every dispute or no state law or no federal law, every dispute comes down to me against you, my word against your word.
No police is as bad as the police can be. No police is a really fucking bad idea.
Fucking A. I mean, how do we solve conflicts then? How do we solve disagreements then? If there's no courts, no law, no government to say
guns.
Yeah.
See, and I was thinking love language. Damn, I was so close.
What is your love language?
Carl, what's your love language?
That is a good question, Matt.
My love language is showing up for, and he did show up, but it took him 3 times to love language.
I'll take just being there as a love language. That's good.
Yeah, no, I think he didn't put it that way, but yeah.
Or wank me off round by the bins once a month, by the bins specifically, or just be there.
Here's the thing: this is another case of do as I say, not as I do, because he said there are 5 love languages. The guy who wrote that book on the 5 love languages, he lost his wife he was spending too much time writing a book on love languages and not paying enough.
Isn't almost everyone who gives too much advice probably terrible about the thing they're giving advice? There are some exceptions, but almost every sex advice person is often a fucking disgusting troll. Or
not Ruth. Ruth.
I said
the old lady.
I gave
Ruth.
Right now, neither of you guys have kids, so this would be a good. I would love to get your take on this whole Charlie Kirk. It's not just Charlie Kirk, by the way. It's everybody in that movement is a proponent of white Christian people need to get busy having children as soon as they are capable of bearing children, which for women, 16, 15, 14, and men basically 12, they can start getting women pregnant.
Do you need to get rid of girls?
Thank you, Kelly.
Kelly knew, yeah.